talk some StarCraft 2. We're going to start it off in the top right-hand side of the map. This is herO.
Playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Kind of a newcomer on the scene, and yet again, after returning from the military, but he's been good for a long time. And spawning over in the bottom left, representing Team Liquid, the young Frenchman, it is Clem. Yeah, I'm thoroughly looking forward to this, because there's so many different ways to play TVP these days on both sides of things. It's a volatile matchup. It comes down to a lot of micro, a lot of last-second clutch movements, like do you snipe the disruptors, do you run away from them? But Clem, he's a guy with micro kind of second to none. Like, he will go for those crazy engagements, those crazy risks. We've already seen herO falter to marO this tournament, but it wasn't in the kind of normal way of going about things. He was having these Tempest compositions that were actually really cool, really good, really hard to go up against. And marO really had to pull something extra out of the bag with those massive 360-degree surrounds.
Oh yeah, that was a really technical kind of game from marO, even just sort of he was backing away, he was letting herO go too far forward. And it was really cool to see herO kind of adapting to the maps, because it definitely felt like that game he was playing around the map and saying, well, I can't, you can't really surround me if I just chip away at you from here, so let's go Tempest and play around that. It'll be really fun to see what he comes up with. A very early scout from him. Once you get across the map immediately, just know exactly what's going on. The probe gets stuck, needs a mineral walk out of there, and it's going to be okay. But there's two SCVs are just full-time chasing this probe around. I know we're about to drop the CC, but it's been a little while coming.
It did. But at least the CC wasn't delayed, and I kind of like the fact he used his low-health SCV there to go scout, because he was like, you know what, I just need to confirm that you're making a Nexus. Get it away from this probe that's been harassing me, otherwise he could potentially get that. So a nice little move by Clem. Initially you think, that's a bit risky, right? But no, it isn't in this case. And now Clem knows what he's up against, and now he knows he can move across the map with that Reaper.
Yeah, that SCV takes one more nibble, but does survive. And the Reaper coming across, trying to hunt the probe, and actually is going to see the probe, but I don't know if Clem noticed it. Now he turns back around, he does notice it. Eye on the mini-map there, and is going to be able to get rid of that probe. Just denies a further scout from herO. He will put a forward pylon down. I mean, right in the face of Clem, that's very much so a case of, hey, look, I've got something out here you should maybe check back on. That was kind of a funky one to drop down when he put the Twilight Council in the back.
Yeah, I think popping down a pylon down like that is actually good for Clem, because that makes me think as a Terran, if I saw that, if I was in his shoes, that in fact, did he cancel it?
Yeah.
Okay, he canceled it. Like, putting down that makes you think like, okay, the Protoss is going to be aggressive for sure. So he knows he's not going to die to any kind of 3-Rex plays. The Blink Stalker plays, if they meet you in the map, they can protect that pylon, keep you alive, but it kind of makes you not want to go those 3-Rex builds. So yeah, I liked that by herO, being a little bit cheeky, bit mind gamey, and already maybe throwing Clem off a little bit. But Clem, he's having none of it. He's just trying to make out what's going on. Did he actually see the Twilight in the main base?
I don't think so. I don't think he's been deep enough yet.
Not yet.
Doesn't have information. It does fit with herO's playstyle, right? He's chaotic, and he's just trying to cause those split seconds of insecurity from Clem. He doesn't quite know what he should be doing. He's like, ooh, are you going to be aggressive? Are you going to use that? And it's just those little things as herO tries to throw him off of his game. And of course, when you're playing someone like Clem, throwing him off of his game is something you kind of need to do. Otherwise, he will control, he will micro like crazy. You'll have a very good time. He's the Reaper dive to confirm Twilight Council in the main, researching away. So now Clem knows exactly what's up, and hey, he's got a Hellion in the natural that is looking to get at least one probe kill. And there's going to be more if we don't do something about it very soon.
Yeah, oh, I thought he was going to die for it, but no, he's going to keep that Hellion alive. One probe down, gets the scout for the Twilight. Don't think he saw the Robo just yet. That was in a different position entirely by herO, so nice for him to spread things out here. So Clem, right now, the question is, okay, is this going to be like 2-gate expo? Is it going to be 3-gate aggression? Or can it go into the more crazy 4-gate warp prism stuff, which so far seems a bit of a mixture of the two, actually.
Yeah, he's kind of getting that prism out quickly. He's on 3 gates, so he will put on some pressure and take a 3rd base. Not too quickly, but not too late, right? So kind of the middle of the road build here from herO. As Clem gets his Raven out, that will give him some auto turrets to help him for a little while. Obviously, it's very useful later if you do keep it alive as well. As extra barracks are coming online, we're going to start moving towards those upgrades, of course. That Stimpack, that combat shield, which are ever so important in the matchup. Yeah,
I like the fact that Clem's making these tanks, though, realizing that aggression is absolutely a possibility. And we look at that base of Clem, the setup kind of thing, that triangular base, that is a large amount of space to blink into that main. So Clem realizing what the potential is of the Protoss player in herO, also, he's no slouch, is he? So he's going to go straight into this main base, try and get damage done.
Yeah, blinks up. A couple of Marines start to go down. Raven takes a shot as well, but is going to just stick around with the Marines as we unload back down to the low ground. And a couple of forges coming up, a Robo Bay as well. So just really starting to go pretty greedy here with the double forge.
Yeah, super greedy. I mean, the double Robo, or rather the Robo with it afterwards, tank beautifully positioned, actually takes out a Stalker here for herO's efforts, and herO doing everything he can, gets a little SCV for his troubles as well, so nice counter play by him. But yeah, getting everything herO is, like, 1-1 on the way, getting the Immortals out before, like, he's gonna have a very powerful Robo army very quickly, but against this Raven, Clem's build actually matches up pretty nicely against this, I feel.
Yeah, because if you are really reliant on the splash damage of a Colossus and that Raven just knocks it offline, then you're going to have a pretty bad time as we go into the main base to try and find more. The tanks are just so well placed. The coverage of them is so good. Like, herO's not even sure they're there as we do see the Raven coming in. We'll auto turret down at least one worker here, and looking for number 2, doesn't find it. But the Raven still around, gets blinked on, and is going to be pushed in the corner. It's nice though, on this map you can sit it there, you have the option to go main mineral line, natural mineral line, and of course once the main army comes across you can still get that Raven out and then get the maybe flanking shot on a Colossus if you want to matrix it.
Yeah, and maybe just as importantly, he got to see the Robo with the double forge. So he knows that's a massive investment, maybe a minute into the future, right? So Clem's like, you know what? Let's move out. Let's see what we can get done. Brings all his units across the map. Also the recall of the Warp Prism with the 3 Stalkers in. Clem's actually, he knows that his opponent is sat at home. He wants time right now, and herO, he's like, all right, let's have a probe in position over here, see if anything's coming. All right, that's where you're coming from.
Yeah, we are going to see Biostimmin in. The first few force fields are decent. The tank is sieged up, and the super battery pop. The Raven goes into the main, looking for the battery so it can then start to work through probes again. I mean, Clem just continuing to fight here with the tank support. Will it be enough? I don't think so. The 2 tanks right now trying to do what they can, but that super battery has lasted so long and has done so much healing. And this is Clem pushed back from this position. Still traded decently though.
He did, but that was like the best shield battery of all time. Basically, like, it was just out of range to get shot, but just in range to heal absolutely everything. It's one of those moments where I'd love to click on it to see actually how much shield it recharged in that fight, maybe like 1,500 or so. But taking out the Raven, I think the Raven did die harassing, right? So that for herO so far. Oh, no, still alive. Great, but only 2 kills. Kind of surprising, but Clem's not going to let off here.
Nope, he's going to drop in this main base. A few Stalkers already in position, but they're not the best against a couple of Marauders in these mines. Going to do some zoning as well. Here comes a Colossus. The Prism's going to eat a Widow Mine shot. The other mine shot went off towards the Assimilator. And now Clem's going to stim back in over on this direction. He's going to get that battery straight away. There's one in the background, though, that will overcharge, but that does not save the cannon. And now Clem's just going to be happy to get quite a few of these probes. They didn't pull back straight away, and 9 workers don't go down. Clem making this a chaotic, busy game for himself at the moment and keeping herO moving around as now he's moving back in, but that's just not going to be enough for Clem this time around as he does lose the full medevac on the right side.
That will definitely slow down this tempo a little bit, and this is when I'm starting to question herO's choice of third base, because being in that triangular setup would have definitely allowed his Stalkers to blink from the main to the third a little bit easier, but, you know, he's a great player. And so far, he's still holding on. He's got that 1-1 done now. So upgrade-wise, he is ahead. Charge is finishing up too. That's going to make things a lot easier. And that Colossus count's already at the scary number of 3.
Yep, it's exactly where it wants to be. Clem's not being able to whittle that down over time. This Widow Mine drop, obviously, if it can connect, would be great. It's just the threat you have. If you just leave that medevac there out of reach, he still has that Raven, and that's brilliant just for moments like this one where you get a couple of workers again, forces a pull away, some mining time lost out on once again 3 workers, probably even 4, and that worker pull. Finally, the Stalkers blink down to the low ground to deal with it, and here comes some counter aggression from herO. Feels like he needs a bit of something, man. He's down 7 workers. It's not where you want to be against a Terran that's dropping triple mules in the game.
No, absolutely not. The Protoss kind of wants to be ahead in probes, at least for a certain length of time. Whereas now, he did even it up a little bit, but he's also suffering his own losses on his side of the map. And this Warp Prism, taking that Widow Mine shot from earlier, has to be so damn careful. But he's just trying to buy time. He's got that 2-2 on the way. But Clem, on his side of things, he skipped that armory for a while. He's getting it now, but he went for the Ghost very quickly. So those EMPs will come in very handy, and he's looking to push sometime very soon.
Yeah, the EMP on these armies can just weaken them up so much. You can go diving on top of them where you wouldn't be able to usually. The Prism did get away alive. The 2 Vikings chasing it were not able to connect. And Clem just getting all of the tech online that he will need to make this army from herO as manageable as possible. Now, herO's going to have good upgrades. He's going to be on 2-2 way before Clem. He's pretty much always going to have a 1-1 upgrade lead. but sometimes against a good amount of EMPs, that just doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, that upgrade lead, it's going to take a while to come online. You can see what Clem wants, and you can also see that herO knows what Clem wants. So he's going to try and slow him down, and that's exactly what he's doing. That big blue blob that was marching across the map to deal damage has to come back home, but herO has to be careful here. Oh. He does have recall available, which he is going to use. That EMP was nice, gets him a few extra Stalkers there.
Yep, was needed, right? And it was from the Ghost that just survived the Stalker blink as well. As you see Zelda on the other side, but now Clem's going to say, cool, I've had this Widowmine set for a while. herO's instantly moving it towards it, so absolutely on point right now. Paying a lot of tension, but he blinks on the medevac, which means the Widowmine could get a Stalker. Always efficient if the Widowmine hits a Stalker. Usually you can't hit them because of blink. And Clem has found his way across the map now, so ready to move on up. And we got that Raven back again, harassing, dealing some damage. Stalker's blinking through, protecting against the Vikings. The EMP's yet to come down here, really. They're going to hit the Immortals and the Colossi and a few of the Stalkers as well, as Clem's going to commit to this fight. Stimming forward to target down the Colossi, but now they get super batteried. I just don't think this is really the position for Clem. He is going to get pushed back from here, and that will be that. But this Widowmine still active. 6 more probes as herO pushes Clem away.
I mean, Clem has to be really careful now because that 2-2 has come online for his opponent. Those Colossus, they're all a little bit wounded, but he's marching across the map, and there isn't quite enough Vikings to take them out. There is now, possibly, and these Stalkers, they're going to be the lifeline for herO. herO can't get carried away. His Warp Prism got sniped in that fight, so it's in production. He cannot reinforce quickly, and this feels a bit... He's getting into the danger zone here, because Clem's army is still a little bit ahead here.
Yeah, auto turret again. That Raven has been so annoying all game long, just sitting behind that mineral line, choosing where it wants to go. 4 more probes going down. The observer there, visible, could take that down, get rid of the high ground vision a little bit, make it a bit more awkward. Doesn't find it just yet, though. As Clem just looking to hold on at the moment. His economy is amazing compared to herO's. He just needs to stay alive.
herO's kind of putting himself into an all-in position here. Like, he's been getting harassed all game long. And I don't know how many probes he's lost at this point. If we're going to have a little look while this fight is going, 28 probes. And he's killed 8 SCVs. That is not what you want as a Protoss. So here, he's not been making probes for a while. He's making disruptors, and that Colossus, very close to falling. That Raven, what an MVP.
Yeah, both these Colossi are going to go down, man. No super batteries to keep them alive this time, and it just means there's no splash damage in this army, so as we blink forward, this is going to be it from herO. We've mentioned he's kind of all in. He never started up 3-3 upgrades, and this is just not going to be enough at all. The harassment from Clem was just good enough to force him in this position, and these Immortals are scary. Like, he's still pushing through, but Clem is absolutely going to have enough to turn this around. He will pull the boys for a few moments, but he's going to clean up pretty much everything, and he's got to feel good about it.
Yeah, these are victory lads right here, charging down those Immortals, taking them all out. And herO, half the supply at this point. It's all well and good being ahead in upgrades for a moment in time, but now Clem's caught up. He's going to be taking a significant lead, and herO knows it. Taps out.
Yeah, GG's. Great first game from Clem. He was the one that decided what was happening in that game, you know? herO early on did try and get active with the Stalkers, but the tank positioning completely denied it, and it felt like then herO was never able to get back online with kind of deciding what was happening in the game. From that point on, it was Clem this, Clem that. That Raven parked itself between those 2 bases, constantly a threat, and never really dealt with, you know? It just sat there, and it almost feels like herO playing this blink opening might have to reconsider into some Stargate stuff in the future, because if Clem plays like that, it's going to be freaking annoying to deal with.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not an easy map to defend on, but Clem's tank positioning, the way he structured his base, keeping it all confined and close together, he just did a very good job. And yeah, I love that Raven that you talked about. It had the opportunity to go to both bases, constantly had to worry about it. I was a bit worried for him in this fight because that shield battery, look at it, lasted the whole time. He did snipe out all the sentries, which that seemed to be a choice for him. And then this fight over here, again, herO's very careful about where he puts his Colossus. It's like they're all over to the left near that battery. As soon as they get focused, they move back, they start repairing, start healing. And I mean, all things said and done, I think this was just a textbook TVP from Clem. Start to finish, getting out that Hellion as well, just for the confirmation on scouting, getting a little probe kill and stuff early on. I loved it from Clem. Safe and standard.
Safe, standard, exactly what you want to see from him. And yeah, just delivered. And even in the fights, which looked a bit scary, he had such a workable lead to work with as well behind it because of all of his harassment. So let's get into it. Game number 2 in the top left-hand side from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. This is herO.
And the little wonder boy from Team Liquid, it is Clem. To see that boy come on up, you know, we saw Reyna do it, swiftly after herO. He just like, from being a child, you know, now he's an absolute beast on the scene, and it was like, oh, that's like 1 in a million, right? And then it's like,
Yeah.
Clem says, hold the phone.
Yeah,
comes up
too.
a few months afterwards, and he's just like an absolute force to be reckoned with. All the Koreans know him. They're all like, yeah, this is the lad to be scared of. And he showcased that he's exceptionally solid in that game 1. And he wasn't overly aggressive, right? Like these medevacs, he always knew when to get back, when to get out, and didn't outstay his welcome.
I think the only over-aggression was sometimes in those larger fights where we, like we said, we were a bit worried in those 2 fights we saw in the replay, but at the end of the day, again, he's trading, he still backed away, he still kept a lot alive, and he kept the threat on the map, and he had to work a lead to kind of justify trading in like that, and that's the main thing. He was so far ahead in economy, he was just testing the waters, but getting back before it became a point where herO could just say, oh, I killed enough, I'm just going to steamroll you before your economy matters.
That's the thing, you can't even call it over-aggression, because he was ahead the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, he still traded evenly. And when you're ahead, that's an insane call to be making. Caught up in the upgrades, he knew when to hit his timings. herO, to his credit, knew when those timings were and when he was weak as well. So both assessing the situation beautifully. This map, though, Moondance, totally different. I dare say terran wants to take a nice, safe 3rd at some point in the back of their base, maybe a 4th, I'm not sure. Then you can, I think it's going to be a safe 3rd, then you can go for the forward PF kind of thing just to make it even crazier your economy. But yeah, Clem gets to get a very quick scout here on that Stargate. That's a nice little start.
Yeah, here we're going to switch it up immediately here on Moondance. It is that map with that kind of in-base, backward base, but it only has 1 gas and 6 mineral patches, so it's safer, but it comes at a cost. So we'll see exactly which way he takes this. As I think in general, if you want to just get up to a bunch of bases on this map, you can do so. And if you want to go like Phoenix Colossus or something like that, that's then very possible. Clem is just going to triple CC it up immediately, wasting no time on that 3rd in location in the back. And that's really nice as this Adept is going to come through, and we'll hopefully try and scout that backward base as well.
Clem's actually one of the only players in the world that does this, because he can. Like, this is going to be an Adept for the first time in its life, kind of losing a fight against a Reaper, potentially. But this is just Clem buying time, obviously. He knows he's against an Oracle. He's getting that cycling behind things. 3rd on location, very safe because it's in the back of your base. And yeah, absolutely playing the map. And you can't do this on a lot of maps, obviously.
Nope. Oh, no, absolutely not. As we see the couple of Adepts getting here, but the Reaper's now across to just try and check what's going on, maybe get a probe kill. And then if you can get in the main base and just confirm what's building. You know, if he sees Phoenix coming up out of that Stargate, that's great information too. His Adept still causing issues, and SCVs have to pull. Both Marines go down. We've got 2 new ones replacing them, but here comes the Oracle. The Cyclone cannot come soon enough right now, as the SCVs are having to surround. Here comes the Cyclone for the lock-on. Oracle has to start running, but that Cyclone is going to be very close, and I think that Oracle is just dead. herO realizes it, so he just kills as much as he can. 5 SCVs, a fairly fresh mule. But the Oracle's now killed, and Clem loves going across the map with a couple of Cyclones and Marines, and this is a very short map to do that on if he wants to.
This is so risky, though. Like, we know Phoenix are on the field, right? And, did Clem see that? It looks like he didn't, but we'll see what they can get done. Because taking down a Cyclone, even though it is a weak kind of unit, a fragile unit, it does take a little while to kill for a Phoenix. And that's about it, but yeah, I think this was maybe a little bit too boisterous, and yeah, I think Clem's realizing the mistake of his ways.
Yeah, you can see on his face, the Cyclone got lifted, and he's like, oh no, this wasn't it at all. This was not the opening I wanted to get here. The Adept cuts off the Marines. They try to go the other way, buy some time. And that is going to be a great opening from herO. He got the early damage. He's cleaned up an extra unit or so. And Clem just going to be playing from a little bit behind here, but he does have that 3rd CC, remember. So his economy is going to be fantastic despite those losses. And herO just now going up to his own 3rd. So yeah, that's one thing that Clem does have in his back pocket for now.
And honestly, that back 3rd base, pretty damn good for terran. Like, of all 3 races, I think it's actually best for terran, just because they don't need that gas at all, at least not for a long time. And by the time you do, you got your 4th base on the way and such. How many Cyclones was that, by the way? Is that 2? So he's really respecting this Phoenix count. And we know herO's an absolute psychopath when it comes to being aggressive. Oh, I love the double lock onto that. Great play by herO, by the way. He's been doing a lot of little nifty things, like 2 very low health Marines. He splits up the Adept shots to take out both of them at the same time and stuff. So both players on point micro-wise.
Yeah, playing well. Just the extra gates, Robo, charge, all coming up now from herO. Getting into that next stage of the game for himself. Just going to get the Phoenix back home. That count is also increasing. And even as one still on the map, just scouting around, double checking on the timings of things. That backwards 3rd base for Clem is powering him up right now, man. Like, worker count's only 3 behind, and on top of that, he's had the mules from earlier in the game as well, because that 3rd CC's been up, so his economy really is booming.
I mean, I was just looking at the income and I was like, why isn't herO making probes? Then it's like every 150 minerals, it was just an extra gateway. He isn't looking to make this a long game, Wardy. Like, he has that back base as well, which, hey, it might be decently saturated at this point, but he's going most likely for a massive Phoenix charge lot attack here to try and catch Clem off guard. But this is a difficult map to do it on, because Clem, technically, ground-wise, only has to defend one position.
Yeah, I mean, from charge lots, you only have to defend that front. I mean, if the Prism comes in, that can obviously change things, as Clem is moving kind of far forward right now. He doesn't realize that the rest of the army is there. He's moments away from Stim, and Clem's going to lose a bunch of Marines early. He's going to come forward and continue to fight. The Stim is now done. Charge isn't ready yet, so this is actually maybe a decent time for Clem to fight, but there's so many Phoenix. He has to try and deal with these, pulling back a little bit. First medevac finally showing up. Clem needs to get more of a SimCity on this natural wall-off just to try and help keep these Zealots out. Anything you can do to buy time against the Zealots will help you here, as your economy will then do the work to get everything else up and running. He scans the third as well, try and confirm how committed this is.
Yeah, I love the fact that, look at that bunker position, by the way.
Yeah.
Making that little nook there. herO has to go in from the south if he wants to engage into that army. Very nice play. herO completely supply block, by the way. He's got 800 minerals, can't even use it. Now he starts making a pylon, but maybe that's too little too late. He can only reinforce when his units die. That is not what you want.
SCV's going down, but if Clem survives, his army's just going to be so powerful, and herO does not feel like he's getting the momentum that he needs with his attack so far. There's Widow Mines that still haven't even gone off, by the way, and Clem is going to hold. 9 SCVs lost, still one worker ahead, triple mule working, and Clem's just getting more and more. From here on out, herO doesn't feel like he's going to hit that critical mass of charge lots to really overwhelm. He drops a 4th base back to pro production. He knows this isn't going well enough for him, and Clem has survived a very dangerous stage of this game.
I mean, honestly, herO really messed up with not making an extra pylon there, because that could have been 8 more Zealots. That could have really turned the tide, but herO, he's not going to stop just yet. He does have a 4th base on the way, but he's got a lot of charge lots in that main base as well. The Phoenix doing work, lifting up the Marauders, leaving just the juicy, squishy Marines to battle with those Zealots. herO still making this a chaotic game.
Oh, the Phoenix going to try and drag, doesn't really hit too much. The Zealots from the main still going to be there. Clem has to take some time to clear those out. The turret will go down there as well, maybe just threaten, and he actually is building an Oracle, so maybe something more of that. He's continuing to warp into the main, and Clem doesn't have much of a defensive position. He is a hero going to turn the tide a bit, and well, he's going to go for reactors. Quick, easy targets that can be very valuable over the course of this. This army's stuck here, though, so if you can't take the fight as herO, everything will die. Wouldn't mind going off, and Clem continues to fight, gets another of those Phoenix. That count is hurting right now.
And that upgrade deficit for herO, there is no +1 armor, no +1 damage on those Zealots. They're going to be absolutely out upgraded, and the tech behind this, 1-1 Marines with Widowmine support and the medevacs. herO's in a scary spot. Again, he's playing that role where he has to buy time, and look at that, double forge goes up. He knows he's in a little bit of trouble, but he needs to play the strong card. He needs to keep Clem at bay.
Clem scans at 4th, sees the transfer. I hope he doesn't get too concerned by it, you know, because he doesn't need to. Yes, it's new, but the work count itself is still even. That's fine for Clem. Take your time, get your own 4th base up, but don't panic. Don't feel like you've got to go across the map and make a bad fight for yourself. Just play it safely, play it calm. Just needs to make sure he's not misreading that situation.
The best thing Clem could do right now is just, I hope in the next 10 seconds we see a Ghost Academy or something like that. Yeah. Even though he's only on 5 gases with that 3rd base, that would absolutely decimate this army of herO. And herO, he's looking to buy time, and yet again. And he's doing it so well, right? Like, he's postured in the middle of the map, so he knows when the army moves out. That Warp Prism's going to do damage. He killed the turret in the main base. I mean, we might see that Oracle come into play later.
Yeah, no, I saw the Oracle come up. I thought the exact same thing. He's creating opportunities for further down the line. Vikings here going to zone out the Prism. That Prism's going to die. The Zealots got left behind. That's a great shutdown for Clem. He might even get across the map now. Storm is going to start, but man, it's going to take a little while for Storm to really come into play. We might lose these Vikings. I think Clem just wants to go, man. He's killed off the Prism. The main threat is gone. If he can get across the map before Storm is up, it might just be too tough for herO to hold.
Ghost Academy is starting up now. A little bit later than what we really wanted, but Clem knows that his time is now, and he's marching across the map. He smells blood in the water at this point. So many upgrades not yet coming online for herO. He just wants to keep Clem away from him, so he's posturing really, really strongly. There is a lot of Zealots, but there's 0-0 Zealots here, Wardy. They need Guardian Shield to keep them even remotely equal against this amount of Marines.
1-1 against 0-0 on Zealots is just not fair. I don't know why why herO is almost so far forward. He's like feigning confidence, but that means he's not fighting with a battery or anything. Clem's going to pull back towards the mines, which do get lifted. Some of them go off, though, connected on the Phoenix, and they are battered and bruised. And now Clem sees this may be an opportunity for him to chase up that ramp. It's a tough call to make. Storm is almost finished. herO, do we have any high Templar on the map? We have one single Templar ready to go, but it doesn't have enough energy for Storm yet, as we do see now herO committing down the ramp again. The Widow Mines on the Marines do hurt, but is there any damage to finish those off? I don't think so. The Medivacs will start to heal them back up.
Yeah, it wasn't quite enough damage to do the job, right? And oh, I love the sniping by...
No.
He sniped those Phoenix before the Widow Mines could actually shoot off on them, which was nice. But herO, he's still alive. 4 bases to 4 bases, though. It's not as if he got ahead after all that, taking a 5th base as well. He's doing everything he can to hold on against Clem, but that army seriously lacking AoE. And in just a few moments, we're having 2-2 finish up for the young Frenchman. The situation only gets a little bit worse for herO.
That's the issue. It feels like Clem's tech is continuing to improve, and while herO's is as well, it's just not scaling as well as Clem's tech is. And we go here, we drop an EMP already. That battery is going to have to be a super battery to make a difference. The energy is already gone from it, so it's going to stim forward here. Clem trying to pick away. It's almost an awkward position for herO to fight. It's too choked up for him to like it. Phoenix goes down again before the Widow Mine goes off. Super Battery's just trying to buy time. Clem doesn't mind hitting units if they're just super battering back up, and he's not taking any damage. That's still just free damage to him, slowly picking away. And herO, I don't even know what he's trying to buy time for. Maybe a couple of high Templar to get some energy. Because Clem just keeps dancing in the same position. It feels like herO's position's only getting worse with the shield battery gone. Units being chipped off. Both the Archons dead. Here come the new Phoenix. Target fire down. Widow Mines are going to get rid of the Prism as well. And that means surely herO has nothing here to help him survive this. It's purely Zealots with now lesser upgrades. 1-1 against 2-2, which has just finished up. And Clem is going to keep moving up this ramp. Zealots are dying. Sentry, Archon, doesn't matter. Clem, 8 clicks up here, 1-2 Widow Mines to finish it off, and Clem has his 2-0 lead.
Man, Clem is playing monstrous. I love as soon as he saw 2-2 finish as well, he stopped kiting. He was just like, no, I'm going to win this fight easily. And herO knows it. His face really changed there as he was losing in Clem. A little bit of a cheeky lip there. That was like, hey, this is going better than I thought it was. Like, this is a nice little walk in the park for him so far. He's playing really good against herO, man. It's got to be said.
Yeah, I love the build as well, because even when it went a little wrong for him, you know, he lost that cycle, he's like, oh man, my pressure's not going to work out. But that triple CC, I know I mentioned it a couple times, it was so good for him. It kept that economy in such a good place. He was never really behind on eco, and it meant that by the time herO came in for the attack, it was underwhelming. Yes, he was on that supply block as well, which made it a little bit less scary. And from there on out, it felt like herO should have been dead in the water. Credit to herO, right? Because then he's able to make something of it. He was great, like you said, at buying time. He was counterattacking here and there, moving in different places. But Clem did what he needed to do, just stay calm in that situation, shut down the threat of the Prism, and then he got across the map, to which herO really had no answer.
There was definitely a few moments when I was a bit scared for Clem. Like, he would move out with that single Cyclone, lost it to a Phoenix straight away. It did zilch, basically, besides take out the Oracle back at home, which I guess is worth it. But then he moved out at that 3rd base. Like, herO is definitely catching him off guard a little bit with some of these moves. And Clem, he just needs to know that, okay, any kind of risky play, I can't be really letting it happen, even though I'm winning these games. Because if he makes that extra pile on Wardy, maybe we're looking at an absolute different story here. But I think he's starting to get a read on how herO plays, and it is very much I'm going to be in your face, I'm going to be crazy. You need to be ready for me.
Yep, absolutely. As we are readying ourselves up for game number 3, Clem is on the verge of a semi-finals here in Valencia. He's saying, I can do it offline just as I do it online. And if he gets to that semis, he's got his hook there, man. We all know his TVZ feels pretty good, although Dark sometimes is a little bit tough for Clem. But the lasers on that TVZ hot streak. So much going on today in Valencia. We have to finish this one up first before we move on, though. In the top right-hand side is going to be our Red Portals player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, herO.
And spawning over in the bottom left of Inside and Out, playing for Team Liquid, it is Clem. Really nice to see Clem bringing it to the LAN. A lot of people questioning it, being like, oh, he's great online, and he's good on LAN. But really being 2-0 up against herO. I mean, myRO did it in the group stage, but he didn't make it look as convincing as this, honestly.
No, myRO felt like he was in a lot of trouble in some of those group stage games. I think the first one was fairly okay, but the second one, it was like, oh, I think this might go 1-1. He had to really, like, mind play his way back into it.
This, for some reason, feels like an earlier gateway than it should be. And the fact that he went... So I kind of feel like he skipped out on a probe, went for an earlier pylon than normal. He's going to be bringing something exceptionally cheeky here. Maybe this is like a proxy gate play, going for like 2 gates.
Looks like it.
Could also be some tech kind of play as well, because normally if you go for the second gate, you don't necessarily need such an early second gas. But Clem, he's going to be methodical now. He's ahead. Doesn't need to be super risky. Goes out with that SC Scout immediately.
Yeah, going to go across the map, of course, when he gets across. We'll see if he can pick up on those little bits of info, you know, as to what might send in into a little bit of concern that Zealot, for instance, is already on the way up, and it's going to be popping out quite quickly, so he can figure that out. He can ready his defense at home, but will he be ready for whatever comes off of that pylon? We're going to see what it is soon. I mean, we're waiting for the Cybercore to finish, so I assume it's a very close Stargate?
I'd imagine it's Stargate, yeah, and Clem, after scouting this, seeing the Zealot early on as well. If you play on the European server, you've definitely played against max packs doing this kind of stuff quite a bit. It's not quite the max packs, given that there is a gateway at home as well, but it's a very cheeky play. Seeing this probe, by the way, on your side of the map, and I don't think it scouted his natural, if I'm correct, so he knows that something's probably going to be quite close to his base, and that, if he gets to get the scout off, he's already getting a bunker up as well, so he knows that something's up.
Yeah, Factory coming online too. Again, a Cyclone's going to be quite important here. This Marine is just going to go out and just play with the Zealot a little bit, as now the Zealot wants to try and delay the CC, delay the bunker. And you see, obviously, this micro just pulling the units back. SCV is swapping over. Nicely done.
I love getting the tech lab on that barracks for the factory. A lot of players in this position would be like, you know what, I'm going to get the reactor because that's what you do, right? And he's like, no, 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 no. I know what I'm worried against. So he's going to be switching that on, trying to get the Cyclone out ASAP. Probably still won't be done in time because this is ridiculously fast by herO, but it will minimize the damage quite a bit.
Yep, and of course herO's delayed his expansion quickly, a lot, right, to get this out so quickly, so that means he can afford to take a couple of losses here as Clem. As Cyclone's halfway done, the Oracle actually goes out to the left side. He's maybe going to wait for 2 because Clem never confirmed what it is. Wow, so that means that the Cyclone could get overwhelmed if Clem isn't quick to move it backwards when the Oracles come in together. It
could. I hope that he's going to be making maybe a second Cyclone as well. And I mean, we've seen players like Beyond. Oh, he's doing it. So yeah, he absolutely knows that something's on its way. Now, the thing is, these Cyclones, they're not good against these Blink Stalker builds, and potentially against these like weird Robo-Immortal builds as well. But against Stargate, absolutely the perfect call, and he's going in with them now, and oh, that Cyclone needs to react fast. The first shot was not on the Cyclone. Second shots are on the Cyclone. Take it out immediately. We can't see Clem's face right now, but I bet it's not happy.
Yeah, he even felt a bit messed up from herO. He missed the Cyclone initially, and still wasn't enough from Clem to get it back. Another Cyclone comes in, but you can't have that happen again. You need to make sure that you can control this as these Oracles are putting in work. Now there's a third Oracle. herO's just going to try and keep up the pressure. And I mean, with 3 Oracles, there's not a lot of anti-Oracle in play right now. That one Cyclone is about it. He's going to put it down on the kind of ramp, not sure where these Oracles are going to come from, and try and just get a bit of extra info before he commits the Cyclone, gets the lock on now, he's going to go running, but what can he do? He's going to get to the bunker, which only has a Reaper inside. The Cyclone is going to go down. Is it? Well, I mean, maybe this repair. Not enough. Only one Oracle had energy as well. And now a lone Marine shows up. At least the Oracles run out of energy, which in a way, I guess, is what you're playing for here as Clem.
Yeah, absolutely is. That bunker was a little bit deceiving, right? Because I think it has a Reaper in, or maybe an SCV, so something definitely wasn't shooting back. But 3 Marines at a time. 3rd base starting up for herO. 4th Oracle. I mean, obviously he did lose one there, the full energy one actually, which definitely sucks for him a little bit, but 3rd Nexus on the way, Blink on the way as well. herO's opening, definitely a crazy one.
Clem is making another Cyclone though, so he continues to respect what herO can do, and he says, you know what, I know you're wild. And he says, what if you just made another Oracle? I'd still be in trouble if I cut these Cyclones, so he will get yet another, and with 2 Cyclones properly out this time, I feel like he should be somewhat okay. Don't think these Oracles are as scary as they have been before, but there's a gateway down. This blink pressure is going to be coming in hot and heavy in the near future from herO. He knows what he wants to do, keep aggressive, keep on the front. And we do see Clem at least going to try and make his way up to Stimpack. Here come the triple Oracles, the double Cyclone now. Going to get a lock on, but he didn't move them away, so once more, the Cyclone's in trouble, and oh, he's just going to get one. The other one just missed. Oh, he gets it. Wow, the Marine popping out from the main, and only 1 Oracle left again. I mean, you're losing Cyclones, but they're not as important against the Stalker defense as everything else.
No, and everything else that Clem's making, actually, he's getting Stim and +1 on the way. He went for that 3 barracks before getting out the starport and such, so he's doing a lot of the stuff that he needs to defend against, and he's still got the bunker up from earlier a game. You can't forget that, but yeah, and now he gets to see quite a few Stalkers meandering around the map. There's no reason for those to be on the map for any other reason than trying to do some aggression, so I would love Clem to just kind of knuckle down a little bit, just maybe set up an extra bunker in the main base or something like that, but this is going to be a very big attack from herO.
He needs to be very careful, of course, to protect his Stim. He cannot lose Stim pack here, right? That's going to be one of the main things that truly starts to push this back properly. Blink into the main base. Clem wants to fight ASAP so he can maybe get some kills before the Stalkers can blink out to safety. Pulling the SCVs forward to tank a little bit. He needs whatever he can against these Stalkers. Push them away. Again, you're trying to buy time for Stim right now, and +1. Your position gets better here over time as he forces one Stalker warping at home, doing anything he can with this Reaper, sees the Robo coming online, and knowing that herO is still continuing through with tech, as herO now has an 11 worker lead. herO's in really good shape, man. This really caught Clem off guard, and yeah, coming in here, just dealing damage to the Stalkers, and this isn't the kind of game it was before. herO is significantly ahead eco-wise, and finally the upgrade's coming online for Clem, but he has to get a lot done at this point. That's a nice little start, getting off a few Stalkers. herO's micro very good with the blink. Yeah, I feel like Clem needs to stop chasing now. Another Stim starts to feel very dangerous. Everything's getting low. Reinforcements could be coming in. He's going to try and hold the high ground just a little bit, but there's that Oracle to help. Stim once again, the Oracle goes low, not enough for it to go down. Clem will at least utilize the speed of the Stim to chase down more of these Stalkers, gets a couple more. He's really chipping away at those numbers. I gotta say, I'm impressed how much he's managed to do with this little Bioforce.
Absolutely, and upgrade-wise again, herO kind of, you know, forgoing that Forge for quite some time, going for DT tech as well, which could absolutely throw a spanner in the works and really make things very hard for Clem, because he wants to be using his mules to try and catch back up economically, so the play by him, the call, very cool. herO's just in your face all the time, man.
Yeah, now these Stalkers are probably going to go into the natural game. Clem has a couple of mines there that are not burrowed. He has shut down the gateway. At least the mines revelated, so he will lose one of them. The Adept will go down to the other one before he can pick it off. And still, again, just chasing these Stalkers, getting another kill. And at this point, it's kind of a serious amount of Stalkers that have gone down in this game. So it's expensive for herO. 14 workers up, but his army supply is struggling a little bit.
It certainly is. Like, this doesn't look as good for herO supply-wise as it should, but he has so much tech on the way, right?
Yeah.
Like, pylons being made, the DTs are coming out in the field as well. Only one TT available because he's actually supply blocked here. 4th base to start up as well. But Clem, let's have a look at all these orbitals. There was no energy on that first one.
He just dropped mules. Yeah, if he sees this DT now, that might help him a little bit, but I mean, if he's just dropped all the mules, then he's got no energy at all. Yep, he's got absolutely nothing. DTs are going to start doing a lot of damage here, and Clem just has to try and buy time, maybe get some turrets up. He will start those now, but this is going to be a big play from herO that could potentially slow down that Clem army. He's going to lose a reactor as well. And yeah, Clem's just all over the place, trying to do whatever he can, not mining from his bases during this time either, right? So just painful. He's so close to a turret here, at least, which will kill off this first DT. I mean, we're on our way to DT Blink as well, so looking to really continue using that as we move back into this main base. Clem will stabilize now, but it's given herO the chance to catch back up an army.
Yeah, I mean, before this, Clem was like 125 supply against 100, right? So he was kind of supply blocked. Now look at it. Total flip of situations. 4th base secured as well. And that army for herO, not the scariest thing in the world. I mean, if you get a good wraparound with...
Yeah.
Gets the Warp Prism, now gets the DT as well. Oh no, the Blink is revealed. Double or second Robo on the way as well. herO, he's playing really good this game, man.
He's just been so quick. Like, every transition is just ready when the next one is already kind of stopping to be successful. You know, just as the Stalker stop being good, boom, DTs are here. And you get rid of the Oracle, at least now Clem is. We do continue to try and fight this back. The Zelds are going to make this much tougher, though. They're just that much tankier. He does have a 1-1 upgrade lead for a couple seconds. Now there's still no armor on the herO army. Clem is holding on, but really by a thread.
Yeah, and I mean, that army from herO, it's got the +1 now, which isn't the biggest deal in the world, but he's on 4 bases, and now he's actually cranking out probes, going for that +2, second Robo coming online. This army only gets more problematic. It's already got the anti-air for the Vikings, potentially. Wow, he's going straight into Disruptors instead. I mean, he's playing such a chaotic style, and he's so in your face, and he's still got that DT tech available, which apparently he's going to be putting to use here.
Yep, a few of those DTs going to go out and around. As we got a Bio Army sitting out the front, looking to see what's going on. Going to stim on through, and those Zelds start to get chased away. So for the moment, Clem going to hold on. Ghost Academy about to come online, but again, these DTs are going to be so annoying. Like, this is usually something I have to just think of at like 15, 20 minutes, but already at this point in the game, having to deal with blinking DTs, and hey, look, they're pretty good against these bio units as well if there's not enough to properly deal with them. The Widowmine shot, though, should help a lot. That is actually a lot of DTs that end up going down. One makes it into the main. At the same time, we're fighting over here, but Clem is going to get back across to try and fight it. He's going to snipe the Immortal, then back away from the Zealots. He's lost 15 SCVs again, though. His economy is just not sustainable at this point. And then Disruptor shot, split against beautifully. He kills the new Disruptor that still had a shot available. Clem doing everything he can. It's just not enough.
That's the thing. He's on the back foot, and he's been for a while. And you see Widowmines in beautiful locations, Bio in beautiful locations, but this is a matter of numbers right now. Look, it's down to 38 probes, and that, or rather 38 SCVs, and that number keeps on falling, losing all his reactors, and yet again, I mean, he's got the medevac count, so he doesn't really mind about that, but herO's just climbing further and further ahead. This is a beautiful display of PvT treachery.
It's honestly, it's just so fun, because it's like, it's just been mayhem from herO from the very start, right? Every stage of this game was, I'm just going to be crazy, wild, I'm going to attack you. This was aggressive herO. This was herO in his absolute element, playing his best kind of game. As the third CC falls, Clem says, this will not turn around. He'll give up a map, and herO will at least get on the scoreboard here in the quarterfinals of DreamHack Valencia. Is going to be up there, taking a map now. Got to feel at least a little bit better about that, because obviously Clem was starting to look just like he was going to run away with this series. So a great change of pacing with some larger maps now coming up. We'll be seeing those after we take a very quick break. Welcome back as Clem is leading 2-1 in this best-of-5 quarterfinal here in DreamHack Valencia, but herO just played a very herO-esque game, and it feels like if he can keep doing that, Clem's gonna have a tough time.
Absolutely. He kind of put a PvZ spin on PvT in a way. Like opened up these the proxy oracles wasn't quite that, but going into oracles, then blink, and then being all over the shop, he played it how he wanted to play it, and he played it in a way that absolutely suited him. Clem got caught off guard with his cyclones, maybe one too many times here.
Yeah.
So this happened quite a few times, but you never expect the second, third, and the replacement oracles as well that he kept on making.
Yeah, it definitely slowed Clem down, right? Because as much as building extra cyclones was nice, it would have been nice if you just never had to build the extra ones. The rest of your tech is going to be that much further along. Maybe you have some tanks to deal with these stalkers, right? And then every other attack that herO comes along with, you're just that little bit better prepared for. That's how you deal with this. But once he has that step ahead, it's then so hard to bring it back. So let's see what happens as we get ready to go into game number 4. Clem, still in the lead, but maybe the momentum a bit more behind herO now.
I mean, that's definitely one way to get back into the series, just doing it in your way and feeling very comfortable, because not at one point in that game was I worried for herO.
Nah.
And I saw quite a few of the Protoss fans there in the pro gamers. herO is kind of the Protoss that everybody is looking for inspiration. I mean, he's done it for PvZ, now he's trying to do it for PvT. Spawning over the top left-hand side here. As our red Protoss, it is herO.
In the bottom right from Team Liquid, in the blue, it is Clem.
Cosmic Sapphire, definitely an interesting map. Even though it's quite large, there's not that many bases to utilize. So if it does go to one of those longer game situations, you have your basic 6 or so right there. But then there's one gold base split between you, which... if you can get to doing that, then that's all well and good. But most likely, this game will not come down to it. PvT, especially with a player like herO, he likes to make it spicy, and that's how he's starting things up over here.
Just gonna take the gold, right?
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think he takes the gold.
I mean, that's such a risky situation. I think it's just going to be a proxy, but
it's so far away for proxy. Proxy what?
I mean, you might be right, Wardy. I just feel like
second gateway? That's a really far off second gateway, no?
Yeah, I just feel that if you do
maybe second gate, then he takes the gold.
He could then take the gold, Wardy. I'm not going to say you're wrong. It's just
I just like the idea of him taking the gold. Let me have it.
yeah. It's just if you take a gold that far away from your main, that just causes a whole array of problems. Like if your opponent opens up like a Hellion drop or something, or does anything Hellion based, you're kind of screwed. 3 racks, it's like, oh my goodness, where do I defend? But he is sticking around there, Wardy, and this could absolutely throw Clem off his game.
Yeah, I mean, Clem's going to scout no expansion, right? He comes up, he sees, okay, well, there's a gate in your base.
No gas.
Yeah, this SCV is going to be very important to tell him what's going on and just continue to scout what do you add on in the main base, right? So get that SCV out of there, try and avoid the first adept coming out, and then get back in to re-scout. Get as much updated information as possible, because we do have a bunker coming up at the front to try and, of course, defend initially. Clem just doesn't want to go too overboard on the defense because there is a gold base now coming online. And let's see if, like I say, something like you say, a Hellion drop right now feels deadly because these bases are so far apart. That's definitely something Clem can do in the future, as he is going to engineering bay block here on the natural expansion. But that's nice, I guess. It'll tell him where the base isn't for a while. He still actually has to deal with the fact of get the information on that gold.
Clem is reacting to this pretty appropriately, though. Like, he didn't make a reactor, just continually pumped out Marines. So that bunker is actually a lot scarier than what you think it might be. But it's going to be 4 adepts out pretty damn soon. 6? I mean, herO, you are an absolute maniac, mate.
Yeah, this SCV rescouts as well, so there's still no tech or anything in the main base right now. So you've got to start wondering. He sees the recall on the probes as well, so Clem knows this probe's going somewhere. And he was controlling the SCV, so he should know that. He cancels the bunker, though, so he's maybe still not expecting this amount of adept pressure because now he thinks there's a base somewhere.
Oh, that bunker salvage, I am very much questioning that. He knew that there was a few adepts on the map, and with herO, like the game before, that should have been a bit of a warning sign. This guy can make more units than you think he should, but Cyclone is out now. That will save most of these SCVs, keeping them alive for now. And given that he saw that recall, there's only one place you'd recall to, Wardy. That is the gold.
Do you think he wanted to show the recall so Clem would salvage the bunker and give him a better chance? Like, is that... Because otherwise, why not just wait the extra half second to recall the probes?
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Like, if herO is so in Clem's head that he knows exactly how he would react, then well played to him.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds crazy, but like he's such that mind gamey kind of player, right? It's so possible, and just the timing of it makes it feel like a mistake, but then maybe not. So as you see, these Cyclones going to put in some work. He's got to stay out of reach of the Stalkers. They're the things that will really chunk through these Cyclones. That's Clem. Yeah, if the SCV's having to run around, yes, he's playing against gold. That's going to give herO a lot of economy. herO is still just massing up units for now, though. I mean, he's got that Twilight Council up. He's got that Robo building a Prism. He is getting ready to try and put some further pressure on. But now Clem just has to defend as best he can and say, hey, look, if I can get to a good army, at least your army's just going to be masses of low-tech units, and that's why I can win out if you have a better economy or not.
Yeah, the thing is, like, salvaging that bunker from earlier, man, like, I really... that's brutal, you know, because would herO be able to get away with this kind of stuff? Absolutely not. The tank on the high ground will assist these Cyclones. One of them, one hit remaining on it, and herO already feeling pretty good this game, and look at that, Wardy. Dark Shrine on the way as well. So we talked about the low tech, but he went straight into that late scary tech there with the GTs.
Yeah, Clem realized he has to make a move on this low ground in a moment, otherwise he is going to be losing the expansion. Obviously that is just a no-go. As you will see the Cyclones coming through, but as Clem repositions to take the low ground, there's going to be a Prism out that could attack into the main base as well, create even more opportunities and positions for herO to play from. 3 Adepts, so he's going to be able to one-shot some SCVs in that main, and Clem's going to have to start splitting up defenses. He just doesn't really have the numbers right now. These low amounts of Protoss units are so powerful, and SCVs start dropping. herO, again, is just playing this chaotic, quick game, and it feels like against herO, you should never salvage the bunker, right? Just keep it.
Yeah, you know, that's one thing afterwards. I'm going to go to Clem. I'm going to be like, Clem, never salvage again against herO, okay? But no, these Adepts definitely dealing quite a bit of damage. Even though they do kind of go down, that was still lost mining time. It still keeps Clem at bay, still keeps him in the dark, absolutely. Right, herO, let's have a look-see. Lots more gateways being thrown down. He's kind of stopped on the pro production, just lots of gateways. He does this when he throws down his gateway explosions, just stops pro production entirely. But now DT's on the map. And you know, Clem hasn't necessarily been handling what's been thrown at him so far. So DT's coming out. I'm worried, Wardy, I'm worried.
This game has a very similar vibe to the last, as he does get some good damage on the Prism. DTs will reveal themselves. Scans available, maybe? Yes, there's at least one here, but he needs to make sure he's got the units there to guarantee the kill. He wants to get the Cyclones at least onto that Prism to make sure it's not going to save anything, so he does get the Prism, he does get the DTs. So far, only 2 SCVs lost, but he will lose the tank in the main base. There's going to be 3, maybe 4, no, just 3 SCVs going down. Again, lost mining time. That was a lot of DTs, that was a lot of money invested, and the Prism has gone down. That removes some of the threat for a while. Clem might be able to finally get a chance to stabilize with Stim coming online to improve his army.
And we haven't talked about the possibility of that gold running out. Like, that gold will run out faster than a normal base, and I mean, it's not an 8-patch gold like it has been on Pride of Altaris and stuff, you know. It's mining now equally to Clem, pretty much. Maybe a little bit better. But, so, herO at some point, when he does take that 3rd base, which is his natural, yeah, he's not going to have the same economic sustenance for as long as you would normally. So he definitely does require getting something very meaningful done.
Yeah, we do see the Cyclones coming out, going to maybe try and grab a couple more Adept kills. Looks as though he'll get 1. Does he have the time for 2nd? He does. So 2 more Adepts going down. That's really nice. Just anything you can chip away from on this army is just less opportunity, less potential from herO. Especially like 3 Adepts is the perfect number to get by and start killing SCVs, right? Prism set up once again. Clem has a bit of vision over here. He's going to see a glimpse of it for the first time there. We'll see if he can get units in the main. I don't think he's reacting to that, though. I mean, it was a very small glimpse.
It certainly was. It certainly was. Seeing the blurs, seeing the Warp Prism here, deflecting it with the Cyclones. So these DTs do have to dive into familiar territory, I suppose. And Blink is revealed. Okay. I thought he was going to lose that, actually, but no, he doesn't. Random Stalker. I don't know what that Stalker was doing over there.
He was just having a good time, wasn't he?
He certainly was.
For a while.
That gold base, it's almost like a bait at this point, I feel. Like, it's still pretty far away. herO doesn't want to lose it for sure. 4 Zealots in the mix here. This is going to get very scary for both of them, actually, because that's a big Terran army outside. But he doesn't have an upgrade advantage here. In fact, it's the Protoss with the upgrade advantage. I think Clem's in a world of trouble.
He is going to get rid of the Zealots. I mean, herO really needs like a Zealot warp in right now just to help him with that base over in the bottom left. He is going to hold on, and Clem's going to have to back away. 12 SCVs lost, and this is just starting to be too much. Now we've got a lone Archon in the natural expansion, and some of these units are just showing up from absolutely anywhere and everywhere.
They certainly are. I mean, for most players, you'd be like, wait a minute, that's a mistake, right? I think herO's just trying to cause a little bit of chaos, honestly. He's now got himself a 20 supply lead and a 15 worker lead, and we were kind of talking about that gold base potentially running out, but he's got a new freshie. He's now got map control and yet again. And he's going to soon have a really good upgrade lead as well, with that +2 coming online very quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Blink is on the way as well right now from herO. That Blink for the Stalk is the third CC of Clem. Not going to get much time to morph in because DTs are here. He's over to defend it, but DT's just blinked up into the main base. So again, herO just finding every corner and opportunity to just be as annoying as possible. And once again, Clem's just not being able to keep up with all of this. It's going to be too much. Clem's going to tap out, and herO's going to tie us up. First series of the day is going to go to all 5 maps.
I mean, if you're in Clem's shoes, you got to be thinking, all right, what's the last map? What are the cheeky things that he could potentially do against me? And he's got to be so thorough about scouting that. He's also got to be careful about, just realizing that when normal players, and I call them normal players, will make like 1 unit for us, maybe 2 units for us. herO, he kind of doubles down on it nearly every time now. So Clem needs to kind of throw his old TVP textbook out the window and just be like, all right, whatever's coming, there's probably going to be twice as much of it as normal. I don't think he saw that recall, you know.
No?
Or maybe he did, but the fact that
I feel like he saw it because it was the moment the recall happened, he salvaged the bunker.
Yeah, maybe. Still, weird game for sure. herO definitely throwing crazy stuff out there. He's kind of like, you know what, these weird one-basey openings, doing crazy things like taking a gold base on the other side of the map. They're working out for me. And sometimes when you play against a player like Clem, who's very good at the normal game, doing this kind of stuff against him and being able to switch into that gear of chaos, it's a really powerful tool.
Man, it was just again this onslaught, right? It was just one wave after another after another. It was non-stop aggression out of herO, and with that gold base behind it, so really fun stuff. We're getting ourselves ready for Game 5. Tropical Sacrifice, one of the larger ones. It just, I mean, if you're Clem right now, you've been going for a lot of just, Reaper expands. Do you think you go double gas expand? Is this the time not to change it up because maybe herO is running out of crazy aggressive things to do?
Honestly, I have no idea, Wardy. Like, herO is definitely one of the scarier processes to go up against because he's not the kind of guy that just sits back, and if he does, he can do it very well. But very often, more often than not, he's the kind of guy that's going to be in your face, and he's going to be with all that cheesy stuff that everybody knows that they can defend, but it's about what cheese is coming. And so far, he's throwing everything at Clem. Like, he tested him in the macro games, tested him how well he's at the Blink Stalker defense. He's immaculate. But now he's really going into his book of crazy strategies here and whipping it out. And Tropical Sacrifice, map of choice here for map 5. Spawning over the top right-hand side as I read Protoss one final time here in this series. It is herO.
Bottom left, he's been watching his lead crumble before him, but now it's time to maybe get it back at the most important point. This from Team Liquid in the blue is Clem.
Still looking calm, composed there. That's a good sign. Maybe playing on a bigger map is something that actually bodes well for him.
Yeah. Against
a player like herO. herO being very, very crazy so far. Clem, is he going to be playing some of the cheekiest stuff
here?
No.
NG block, doesn't he?
I think he just wants NG block, yeah. So did go for a gas first, I do believe here. Sneaking out that SCV, but that probe looks like he's up to no good. And yet again, this game, Wardy.
I like it, though, from Clem, because the engineering bay block helps you take the game into your own hands a little bit. If he does go factory before expanding, that will help against double gas openings of herO, which is exactly what herO is currently setting up for as well. So I feel like this is the adjustment that I think it was the smart adjustment. It's just like I've just been like, do I change now? And he just takes advantage by just expanding normally. Well, you take that option away by going engineering bay at least, right? So then it's like, it's not so bad either way. There's the factory going down, and that's got to feel good for Clem. Maybe not right now, but when he notices that this is double gas, that's immediately like, cool, I'm going factory early, and that is a pause. So we're going to have a moment here to figure out what's going on. That's a referee pause as well.
Oh, herO doesn't have his headset on.
Ah, the headset.
Now, obviously, herO very fluent in English, obviously listening to everything that we're saying. A little bit of a smile there from him. He's like, well, I couldn't hear anything anyway. Like, I just hear that loud Spanish man in the booth next door.
We can't even hear ourselves casting, mate, so I don't think it was an issue, really. All good. So here we go. We do have our SCV just patrolling the main base, and yeah, Clem now must feel good because he knows I've got a block. He's got double gas, so he's thinking of doing something, and I'm going to have a much faster factory. So if he goes straight into Cyclone here, he could be in a great spot, already building the tech lab on the barracks again.
Yeah, I mean, Clem, this isn't the kind of game that you kind of prepare for, playing against a guy like herO. You know, you play against those players in Europe, they're not quite as crazy as this, at least not in the higher echelons of Europe. So playing against this, it's definitely going to throw him off a bit. herO wants to come back home and expand. You see his minerals absolutely skyrocketing there to 400, but he's just going to be very happy taking this base. What happened to the Zealot, by the way? Is it crossing the map? Or do you cancel it?
There is no Zealot on the map.
Cancelled it, so can't deal with that engineering bay block with that either.
Yeah, so he's just going to take that third location instead. First Oracle on the way out. The Cyclone is coming in before the Oracle. That really is a sign of just how seriously Clem wants to be set up against that. So yeah, I mean, this should be fine for Clem. If he gets a second Cyclone as well, do you maybe see some way for him to go across the map aggressively himself if he gets an Oracle kill?
I almost think there's no need to. Like, the Oracle's obviously, I mean, both the Oracle and the Cyclone, not the best army unit to have, but at least the Cyclone can be a little bit more useful in the army than the Oracle can. First Adept does show up and he's like, you know what? That's a tech lab on that factory already. This kind of push is not going to work out the same as it did in that game one. And he doesn't double down on it this time. He's like, you know what? Not going to make the second Oracle then. We'll change it up entirely. I mean, herO is difficult to play against because he's so decisive about these choices as well.
Yeah.
It's like no hesitation, no thinking around. And he just realizes, all right, you're banking on that. And now we see Clem going for the second Cyclone because he's like, well, what is going on? And I mean, it's not a bad call. I think he should stop at 2 here and just be a little bit more careful. So what he's doing here, moving out the Marines on the right side just a little bit so they should take the damage first. Alert him of the problem, but that's going to be a very quick blink follow-up.
Yeah, Clem just has not found the Stargate still. He is still scouting. If he can find it, of course, he will be able to say, okay, cool, no more Stargate units currently building. That makes me feel good. Obviously, his CC has to move down to the low ground still. A couple gates coming online, but we are a while away from Blink. And we are going to have at least a siege tank out because the first tank should build pretty much immediately here. The tech lab on the factory is finished. And as soon as he's got the minerals and the gas for it, that tank should start up and prepare that defense. As he's just going to get a very close pylon on that right-hand side. So a great warping point for future Stalker pressure.
Certainly is. Tanks coming out for Clem, and that's probably something that herO wasn't entirely hoping to see. Like, you want them to go for like the 2 barracks, then get the starport out, maybe go for widow mines before the tanks and all that jazz. But this is a very nice scout by Clem here. Gets to see that there is no second Nexus. herO is like, you know what? I don't want you knowing when I do take a third base, I'm going to get rid of you. But revealing this amount of Stalkers as well, I think he kind of realized that halfway through. He's like, no, I don't need to see this many. But yeah, we do know that herO wants to be exceptionally aggressive, and I love that, by the way. Stasis on the bottom of that ramp. He's hoping to kind of lull Clem out a bit, then maybe get in there, get into the main base, deal damage.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, one Stasis can change games. We've seen it in the past. So do have Blink moments away from finishing up here. This extra gateway coming online will make it 4 gates in total, so herO is pretty committed. That third base will be late. A couple of Adepts going to shade into the natural to stop. It's just trying to peel Clem away from a main base defense. They will not commit just yet. As Clem in the main base, his defense there is looking okay because he's actually, sorry, I thought he had a tank in the main base, but he only has 1 tank on the low ground. He's building a reactor with his factory. He's about to have stim though, so that will help, but where is he going to go? He needs all of his units together, and they have to come in from the low ground right now. There is the stim. Start pushing these Stalkers back. This shouldn't be too bad for him. Obviously, the Stalkers can blink away and not take damage themselves. The Adepts get a few kills, but looks like they are going to be handled.
And that Stasis actually trapped both of those Cyclones in it, so moving over there, that's a very valuable target. I do think they're going to get away in time, which is actually, one of them gets away. The tank gets a good shot. 2 Stalkers do go down for the trouble. Nice attempt by herO, but Clem was quick to react there and pull back.
That fresh mule in the natural, by the way, has been sitting there a while since the Adepts came through, so that's annoying as we are going to try and defend the main. Once again, herO blinks up, waits for Blink to come back online, just to make sure he's going to trade as efficiently as possible against this.
herO's absolutely utilizing the map very nicely here. Big blink spaces. It's kind of nice, this ramp position, though. It's far away, so you can't just go from one side to the other as quickly as you would like, but here. He's just utilizing that energy cooldown from the shields. It's free damage here. Every time you get to take a fight, you should take a fight if you want to do it properly. And he's getting more and more Stalkers here. He's really hoping to catch Clem super off guard if he can.
Yeah, I mean, he's only lost the 2 that we talked about earlier, right? When that one of the Cyclones stayed alive and the tank got a good shot off. Otherwise, his blink control has been really spot on. Some of these Stalkers getting a bit bruised, and that becomes a bit scarier further down the line. Medevac's almost out of energy. I mean, 2 new ones about to pop, and Clem's now starting to pick up micro himself, saying, I need to find some efficiency of my own. Look at Clem's supply, man. It is so far down. His herO just warps in more basic 8-way units. He's going to blink away from this mine, so that's going to get killed off here as well. And I think Clem's biggest issue is he just didn't continue tank production, and he's really struggling for it now.
He's super struggling, Wardy. I was really happy when I saw the first tank being made, because I thought, okay, he's going for the 2 safety tanks, you know? But switched too early into those Widow mines, and now it's causing him massive issues. And that number of Stalkers, that is damn scary to deal with. There's no combat shields done, by the way, so that stim does even more damage, self-harm to himself. And that's a small squad of bio. Like, it might win the straight-up fight, actually. But herO kind of knows that. Does suffer a loss, or a single Stalker loss, but overall, he's playing really solid, man. He's got Clem right where he wants him.
Yeah, the first 2 games were all about Clem controlling, right? And then this games since then of being herO, just getting control, doing different things, and making Clem's life difficult. We are going to see a commitment here from herO. He's blinking into the natural stills, so he's going to blink on top of the tank. The Zealot's coming through a choke point. At least the Stalker's doing what they can. SCV's having a tank for Clem is not pretty for him, man. He's 20 workers down at the moment, and this Bioforce keeps on coming through. herO has been such a difficult player to play against, and Clem has just not been able to get the better of him. These gateway units will continue to do what they can as they try to bust through this army. It's going to be enough. herO comes back from 0-2. 3 in a row, chaos every game, and Clem just felt as though he couldn't make the right decision twice in a row.